Hello and welcome to Porthole. I'm Steve Milne, and in today's programme we're taking you on a journey of discovery to the capital of Estonia. Boasting a whole wealth of history, culture and charm, Tallinn is a port of call often visited on Scandinavia and Baltic itineraries. And I'm delighted that here to tell us more about what we can see and do when we visit this quaint city is the Ambassador of Estonia to the United Kingdom. It's Lauri Bambus. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much indeed for inviting me.
Well, it's great to have you on to talk about everything that's up for grabs and on offer. First of all, talking about the cruise ships that come in, are there larger and smaller ships that arrive?
In fact, there are different kind of ships, but well, I'm proudly saying that Tallinn is really one of a very good destination for tourist liners, and there are almost 300 big or medium-sized cruise liners which are entering Tallinn, staying there for a whole day, and bring us more or less, let's say, 500,000 tourists each year. So
wow, it's a lot of tourists that come in.
Indeed, if we count that, well, whole Estonia have been visited 6 million people, and well, 500,000 there are tourists by cruise liners, and of course it's quite a big number.
So I guess are the cruise liners that arrive throughout the entire year?
No, they are coming specifically from April till October, the beginning of October, because it's the best season to visit Estonia, especially for those who like, let's say, summer and autumn. We have 4 distinctively seasons in Estonia, so and in springtime it's a little bit difficult to get by ships to Tallinn. It's possible, but not for the cruise ships maybe. When
at peak season people arrive, is there a certain nationality that you find that comes to visit?
There are of course different nationalities who are visiting Estonia on cruise ships, but well, very many are coming from the United States, from Germany and from the UK. I think that there are approximately 13% of all cruise visitors are from the United Kingdom. So, but of course the nationalities are different from many different countries.
Well, so many cruise liners arrive with so many different people, and there must be a really good mix.
Indeed, as I said, there are very small ones. Well, there are 400 passengers, but up to 3,500 of passengers on the one cruise ship. And if you have, let's say, the same day 2 or 3 liners, then it's of course,
I can imagine, very busy.
You meet many different people.
Which is half the excitement of being on holiday, isn't it? Meeting new people and seeing other people from different places all coming together. It's fantastic.
But Tallinn is a medieval city. It could be very small for, let's say, from distance. But if you're already there, I think that it's very cozy and nice place even for big tourist flows like, well, we have during the summertime.
When the ships dock, how far is it from the dock to get into the city?
Tallinn is very small and cozy, really. So it's on foot, I think that less than 1 mile. So it's really very affordable to go, to walk to the old town. And I think that the old town is the pearl and the gem, which is must to see when you are staying in Tallinn.
Tell me more about the old town. What's it like when you're there?
Well, first of all, it's of course the best preserved medieval city in, I think, that in whole Europe. And the history goes back already to the 13th century. And we still have many preserved buildings and of course town wall and town squares, which are amazing for not only tourists but also for the local peoples who like to, well, stay and to just rest in Old Town.
And when you're there, what other kind of attractions, as well as the Old Town, would you say are the highlights of the city?
From Old Town you can see also the newer modern city, which is not very far. Once again, you may walk, you may have a taxi, you may well take a bus, you may have a bicycles, whatever kind of transportations you like. So, of course, once again, the old city I should recommend first, because, well, one thing is an entire ensemble, but there are small peaks which is important to see individually, starting from the St. Catherine's Passage, for example, or the old town square, or the one of the oldest church in Estonia in mainland. It's from 13th century already, the Dome Church. Or I would recommend to see definitely the oldest and the coziest apothecary in a pharmacy in Tallinn. So,
are these places, are they really busy? Do you have to queue up for a long time, or do you have to try and make sure you get...
Once again, it's very narrow. I mean that, well, you can reach them very easily, and if you have seen it, you will walk further on. So there is no crowdy and queuing in Estonia, even in the peak time.
When it's the busiest, when you've got a couple of cruise liners that are in dock.
Even then, of course, well, as we say that, well, as more the merrier, but well, I think that it's really, you feel the busy life of medieval time, because you can also see during the summertime people wearing the medieval costumes, for example, which giving you the atmosphere, and they are inviting you to the old to taste the old cuisine, for example. So it's charming to, well, get very valuable for money things in one day.
What are the locals like with tourists? Do they like having tourists coming through?
Absolutely,
yeah.
Absolutely. Again, tourists not only taking something from us, but they are giving also to Estonians or also the locals. They are bringing their, let's say, good welcomes. They are bringing us good things and etc. So of course, Estonians like tourists, and well, they are always very welcome. So I know that sometimes there are people asking that, what kind of languages do we speak? Of course, Estonian language is our state language, but well, once again, English is widely spoken, but besides English, Finnish, Swedish, French, German, and other languages. So I think that Estonians are quite skillful in languages.
You touched on the transport situation. There's a lot of different ways to get around the city. What would you recommend is the easiest way to see the city and to get around?
I think that it first of all depends very much how much time to have to spend in Estonia or in Tallinn particularly. If you have only a few hours, then of course I would recommend to stay in the old town, because you have very good sightseeing from upper town. I must say that, well, old Tallinn is divided by two parts, upper town and lower town. And from upper town you have also very good overview to the modern city or modern town of Estonia. If you have already more time, then I would recommend to visit some museums, some parks which are nearby the old town, and also, well, then the TV tower, for example, which is one of our highlights.
In regards to the climate and the weather, what can you expect when you arrive?
As I said, well, we have 4 distinctive seasons in Estonia. It means that really we have springtime, we have summer, we have fall, autumn, and we have winter. So it very much depends what you like to have to see. Whether nice and sunny, sea coastal line of Estonia, beautiful beaches, for example, or you would prefer snow, snowflakes, winter, cold, Christmas market in Tallinn.
I was going to say, I can imagine there must be beautiful Christmas markets.
Well, I'm very proud that, well, Tallinn's Christmas market is one of the best in Europe. So, well, if you don't have time to, well, visit Estonia during summertime, please do it in Tallinn.
Is there mulled wine, I hope, and everything?
Everything, so everything.
Gingerbread smells and all the decorations, and I love it.
It's really beautiful because, well, we have preserved this town, and it gives you atmosphere that you are really in old medieval time and place.
I can imagine, because of the medieval area that you talked about in the old town, the Christmas markets you must feel like you're in another era. It must be amazing in regards to how it's done.
Absolutely, correct, absolutely. And once again, if it's snowing, even
beautiful,
beautiful. It's picturesque, and well, once again, if you're staying in the town hall square and look at this Gothic style town hall, it's really something you feel back in history. In
regards to museums, you touched on there's museums available. I kind of feel like some people either love museums or they don't like museums. Is there a good variety to maybe just check them out for a little bit, and you can obviously just go for a couple of hours?
Let's say if you're walking already in Old Town, you are walking like in a museum. Because all those buildings from 16th, 17th, 18th century, they are already the feeling, the air of history. But saying that, of course, we have modern museums. We have art museum, a very popular one, Sea Harbour Museum, which is Maritime Museum from 2010, very popular one, and you can see how Estonia as a sea country has developed its maritime life.
Yeah.
So of course we have talking about. I'm coming and going back to this historic Tallinn. But Kikendikök, one is a town wall tower, and under that there is very interesting, I would really recommend to find this hidden place. It's bastion tunnels.
Wow.
Where you can travel also from very past, let's say from 13th century up to today. So it's also, sometimes people are saying, well, it's underground, it's something under the walls, but I think that it's really good to see.
Okay, it sounds scary. Is it like ghost hunts? Is it? It sounds like you could be looking for ghosts or going on a scary underground adventure.
Who knows? Who knows? Of course, we know that in many buildings, in many houses in Old Town, there are ghosts.
Yes.
And some people really would like to stay in Tallinn, especially in some hotels, which are very cozy and boutique ones, exactly to hope to see and meet ghosts. But I'm afraid that, well, not everybody will see.
I don't think everyone would like to.
No.
But you never know. You might see a ghost.
Yes.
Go on. Are they guided tours with this?
Yes, there are guided tours, but always the option to walk alone or with family and to discover yourself. And I'd like to say that everything is also available in English. So, as I mentioned, that Estonians are quite skillful in languages, and English is definitely one of the guided language for tourists.
I believe there's a zoo as well, is that correct?
Yes, and it's very nice. If you have time.
Yes.
It's not in center exactly, but you have to take then the public transport, a taxi, what is more convenient for you. But I think that there are very good buses and trolleys. So for those who haven't had this experience to drive by trolley, then still we have some trolley buses in Estonia. And to take the zoo, yes, it's very open spaced, and you can see many animals and birds which are maybe represented only in Estonian zoo.
And absolutely brilliant to go to. I find zoos are intriguing in different countries because obviously you see a whole way of different animals that you wouldn't normally see, which is why we go to a zoo. It's also great for the kids as well if you want to see something different.
I think that for families it's really fun because then you have your own tempo. It means that, well, you have not to run and to hurry, so you really enjoy the time in walking in zoo.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much. And please do stay with us. We'll be discovering more about what Tallinn and Estonia has to offer in just a few minutes. Welcome back to Porthole, the programme where we delve into the heart of the most popular cruise ports, and today we're getting a taste for Tallinn. Lauri Bombus, the ambassador of Estonia to the United Kingdom, is still with me. Thank you for staying with us, and it's been great discussing all the activities that we can see and do when we're there. One thing we haven't asked about yet is the beaches. What are they like in the summer? Oh,
they are very nice because Estonian beaches are sandy beaches mostly. Maybe the seawater is not the warmest one in the region, but still I think that they are very beautiful and picturesque, and well, if you have time to visit not only the Tallinn city Pirita beach but also the other beaches, for example, I would recommend to visit Estonian islands. Very beautiful islands, and I know that there are also cruise ships which are stopping in the biggest Estonian island, Saaremaa, so definitely those are having very excellent opportunity to see Estonian nature as total and well, welcome to forests and bogs and everywhere. Absolutely. I mean, going back to the beaches, I mean, the sandy beaches, they're beautiful, aren't they? They really are impressive. They are very beautiful and not crowded, which is also important, well, to compare to maybe some other regions in Europe or in the world. When people want to go for a bit of shopping, what can they expect? Well, we have, of course, different kind of shops as everywhere in modern world. Yes. So you can, well, easily visit the world-famous brand shops, but also unique and boutique shopping in Tallinn and other towns and cities of Estonia. So if you are looking particularly something unique for Estonia, then I would recommend to look the souvenirs from Estonia. For example, juniper wooden battery knives or spoons, which are not only beautiful design but also smell and the aroma of Estonian juniper trees. They are really very nice. But also embroidery, linen, etc. There are many different Estonian design things which are valuable to buy with you if you travel to Estonia.
What currency do we use when we're there?
Of course, Estonia joined already the Eurozone in 2011, but saying that, I think that it's not necessary to bring a lot of cash with you, because Estonia is very modern and very e-open and e-society, so sure. All major credit and debit cards are accepted in even small flower shops, so it's very easy to use your cards. But once again, there are people who would prefer to use currencies. Then pounds, dollars, all kind of other world currencies could be easily exchanged in currency exchange bureaus.
It's incredible because we talked earlier about how the old town is obviously dates back to the 13th century, and then we talk about the shopping. It's so modern. It's a great balance between the two, isn't it?
Absolutely. Once again, if you're visiting and taking time to in restaurants or bars, cafeterias in old town of Tallinn, and you expect that you have only old modern money, then no. It's very easy to switch on back to the modern world.
Which is good to see. What about food then? We talked about food. What kind of food can we expect?
Again, Estonia has been influenced by many cuisines. Of course, German cuisine, Scandinavian and Slavic. But as Estonia is surrounded by sea, so a lot of our cuisine includes fish and sea products. But saying that, I think that my favorite dishes are really elk and wild pork sausages with mash.
Fantastic.
I think that it's very easy also for Brits. They are very good, and again, but if you are more modern cuisine lovers, then you can find also very specialist kitchen in different.
Sure. Is there a specialist dish that we should try? Is there anything in particular that it's prized as a local cuisine?
I think that, as I mentioned already, these special sausages are really very delicious. They are very tasteful, and already now thinking about this, I'm feeling that I'd like to get some. But definitely some Estonian soups and crafted beer.
Obviously, a lot of people can experience this when they come in with the cruise liners. I can imagine it's still quite popular with visitors that just come in from other countries, especially the UK.
Yes, we have about 6 million visitors each year in Estonia, and they are discovering many places. Once again, the islands, the nature, the spa tourism is very popular for those who would like to have relax, and especially those who are coming from big cities. They are looking for the places which are calm and quiet, and sometimes I have been told that, I woke up today morning because of silence. Yes.
They're not used to it.
No, because if you are living in the middle of noise and cars, so it's really nice. And if you hear then the birds are tweeting somewhere, it's really beautiful. And if you are always reachable by your friends, because Wi-Fi is everywhere in Estonia, internet, it's covered all country, so it's very modern and an easy way to travel.
I love it because the images I've seen and the pictures, in my mind, I've got this amazing kind of Gothic city almost, and I kind of can't imagine Wi-Fi or easy payments and that, but it's got the best of both worlds, hasn't it? Which is incredible.
Absolutely, you are right. And for those who haven't been in Estonia, then it's like a gem. You are finding something in the, let's say, you don't think about Estonia usually, but if you are already there or once have been in Estonia, many people are coming back.
How long would you recommend people should come and stay for a good time to see enough things and enjoy, relax?
Let's say, frankly, starting from a few hours, like the cruise ship visitors are coming, it's already good to get the flavor of Estonia. But I think that 1 week would be already quite okay to see again the nature, the towns, the cities, and etc., and to get used to modern Estonia.
It always takes a couple of days to get into the city, doesn't it? Find your way and then enjoy everything that you talked about.
And if you really find something you are interested in, it's difficult to get out of that. You would like to see it more and to use it more.
And you could easily find one of these hidden gems we talked about, and you might want to spend a few hours, if not all day there, so you want a bit of time to see it as well.
Yes.
What about accommodation? What can people expect if they want to come and stay for a week or so?
Again, it's very different and very affordable. I mean that, there are bed and breakfast hostels, but also 5-star and boutique hotels, especially in Tallinn, but also in other towns. So, and if you are more spa resort person, then I would recommend again the island of Saaremaa, where we have the very good, really very good spas.
And I can imagine that's a really good time to relax.
And to relax and to let you treat by Estonian very famous mud, which is already famous from the Tsarist Emperor of Russia, who came with his family to Estonia to let him treat. So why not to treat yourself during modern time also in Estonia?
Absolutely. Can I ask you, in regards to payments, etc., do you need to tip? Is that expected?
No, not exactly, but of course it's very welcomed nowadays if you really have a good service. And I think that, well, in Estonia everybody really receives a good service, not only talking about the language, but I think that the Scandinavian attitude and the speed and well, you are really welcomed. So I think that it's really quite okay if you get...
If you are coming for a week or so like we talked about, is it open all week, or is it just the weekends that are busy, or is it available throughout the entire
I think that, well, as concerns the museums,
yes,
there are some kind of rules or regulations, or, well, some tradition that during the Mondays and Tuesdays there might be some restrictions of the closeness. But the rest, I think that it's always open. And for example, the Open Air Museum, which is very nearby to Tallinn, which gives you also the opportunity to see how Estonians lived in the 19th century, in the beginning of the 20th century. It's also, if you don't want to be among those tourists in the city, just to walk and well, have calm and relaxed time. But once again, I think that we are open.
Yep.
All the time, and then during the weekends, during the working days, and shops are also open very late in the evening.
Which is good to know in case you get up a bit late from your relaxing morning spa. What about getting around? I mean, you can walk around, I'm assuming, as much as maybe, you know, taxis or anything else you want to do.
I think that Estonia is a very safe country.
Yes.
And very family-friendly country. So it means that you can easily walk. You can take the taxi, the public transportation. There are also the special tourist cars for those who are coming to Estonia for a few days or for a few hours. So I think that it's very comfortable to travel in Estonia and in Tallinn especially, and also walk and to rest in Estonian parks and well, it's really.
You know, there really is a huge amount to do, and there's something I think for everyone, which is fantastic. But if I ask you this, if I was coming on the cruise ship and I only had a day or so, what would be the couple of things you'd recommend that we would have to do?
Coming back to the old town.
Yeah, sounds fantastic.
Coming back to the old town. This is really from the 13th century, but well preserved town wall from the 15th, 16th century. But on the town hall square, there is the oldest pharmacy in Europe, which you should see, because it's still working from the earlier 15th century. And in the same building, in the same atmosphere, so to feel the taste and how it really works, and some other churches and as I mentioned, this bastion tunnels.
Yeah. If
you have really few hours, but I would recommend to stay longer.
Absolutely, that's brilliant. Thank you so much. It's been fantastic to talk about it.
Thank you very much.
It does sound like a really impressive place to go to. So
and welcome to Estonia.
Thank you, and thanks very much to you again for your company. I'll see you again next time as we look through the porthole. Bye for now.